Let's go ahead and discuss how to get ready for the EOY2 data collection. So EOY2 is just a single data collection with student programs. However, there are two sources of information here. The program records submitted by your LEA throughout the year identify students participating in specific programs. So that's the first method. And schools operating Title I school-wide programs are identified through an import from the Consolidated Application Reporting System, or CARS. This data collection has gone unchanged for several years and should be the easiest to complete. The files that are used to submit this data are the student program, or SPRG files, which are used to identify student program participation for subgroup data. Program data is typically reported at the school level. It's imperative that school site staff, teachers, counselors, and administrators understand how and when to exit programs. This will limit the errors that will trigger in CALPADS during the end of year 2 submission. All right, student program data should be submitted on an ongoing basis throughout the year. As students are determined eligible or begin participating, records should be submitted. When eligibility or participation ends at a particular school site, the records need to be updated. There is no need to wait for the EOY snapshot to begin on May 8th or wait to review reports. EOY2, again, is typically the easiest of the 4 data collections to complete because most of the data has been submitted throughout the year and the data is submitted continuously so that LEAs have great familiarity with the data set and transaction processing method here. So an understanding of the processing method and operational keys that Nate discussed in EOY1. There are pain points in EOY2 though, and the Consolidated Application and Reporting System, or CARS, is one of those pain points. And we suggest that you get the CARS certification of your program data done early. One important step in doing so is to identify who in your LEA oversees CARS certification and working with them on your program data. This is most often the business office or the CBO themselves, or a dedicated CARS specialist. And the kind of coalition building involved in reaching out to these folks early and maintaining that relationship is vital to success in CALPADS. And you can find guidance and updates regarding CARS on the CTE webpage. It is linked to in the notes of this slide if you've downloaded the PowerPoint, but we can go ahead and navigate to that page now. This is the CDE webpage for CARS, the Consolidated Application Reporting System. It has a lot of kind of functionality and timeline information for users of CARS, as well as some general overview and communications for you to better understand CARS and the relationship between CARS and CALPADS. One thing that is not listed here is your kind of directory of CARS staff. So you will yourself need to track down who your CARS specialist is, whether that is your CBO, someone in your business office, or just a dedicated CARS specialist. You will need to track them down on your own and build and maintain that relationship. Nate, did you have anything that you wanted to add for this CARS web page here?
No, I think you covered it all, Matt. I think that, to reiterate, the most important point is many of us, or many of you, don't have access to CARS. We found in a previous conference that a lot of people who are new don't know what CARS is. If you get a Cert 97, it's based on the data that comes out of this system that's apart from CALPADS, right? And so always follow the money, because Cert 97 triggers on those schools that got funding for Title I Part A students. So if you're running a school-wide program, there's no data on your part to submit. So you just go to whoever handles the money, whether they're titled CBO, if you're at an independently reporting charter, it's your charter school director. They should know this, and we say should. That doesn't mean they always do. But Matt's showing you this website so you can use it to become more familiar with the data collection, so that you can present it to whoever is submitting that information when you're asking these questions, because if you have a cert 97 on May 8th, you want to resolve that before June 30th, right? You don't want to, again, we've seen districts in August still with cert 97s, right? So just keep that in mind. I think Matt covered it all.
All right, thank you so much, Nate. So that is CARS, one of the pain points in EOY 2. All right, let's go ahead and look at report 5.1. You are able to review this report on May 8th or May 9th whenever you receive your first snapshot, and it will reflect accurate counts if you start your submission early and ensure that you have your EOY2 program records in the system by May 8th or May 9th. A reasonable goal to set for your LEA is to approve the EOY2 submission a week after the snapshot begins. Program data is again submitted on an ongoing basis. School-wide programs in CARS should be certified before the first CALPADS snapshot on May 8th, and as such, it is reasonable with a proactive effort to approve the end of year 2 submission within days of the start of the collection window. Report 5.1 is an older report and has an ODS version, which can be used to estimate counts prior to the snapshot on May 8th. So you are able to access that ODS version earlier than May 8th if you have your data in early in order to estimate your counts in preparation for the snapshot beginning on May 8th. This report, report 5.1, is the aggregate report that you will need to review after all of your required data has been posted. This will need to be reviewed and LEA approved in order to certify. Report 5.1, program participants count. There are also 2 supporting reports. Those are the reports in blue on the right-hand side here. These reports, Report 5.2, NCLB Title I, Part A, Basic Targeted Educational Services, and Report 5.3, Report 5.3, Program Participants Student List, are supporting reports that will allow you to better understand and analyze the information and data contained in Report 5.1. You are able to review the EOY2 data mapping guides in the user manual in order to better understand these reports. And you can find them. Let's just go back to the user manual page real quick. If you just go to the landing page on the user manual, the report mapping guides are going to be on the right-hand side. And if you click view details, you can go into snapshot or ODS reports and scroll down to find your report 5.1 here. So that is the report mapping guide and report 5.1, the aggregate report that you will need to review and approve in order to certify, as well as the supporting reports 5.2 and 5.3. And the report mapping guide will assist you with data elements that are used in the counts for aggregate reports, whether it's report 5.1 and EOY2 or any of the reports that we're discussing in any of the end of the year data submissions. In addition to this primer, we have a myriad of training available for you. For EOY2, the CALPADS user manual and CSIS YouTube training channel are accessible to everyone, and links to the relevant training material have been included on this slide if you were able to download it. If you are new or just need a refresher prior to submission, I encourage you to take advantage of those resources available. We also have CALPADS Flash number 228, which is a flash regarding the TK program and the data guide section 2.1.3 on student programs for your information here. This data guide section 2.1.3 may be slightly out of date, and you can find a page for the student programs file type in the CALPADS user manual as well under this link here. So those are the resources available for you for further training and development with regards to EOY2 in particular.